tell you, I thought you couldn't surpass what you had done in the 8 previous movies, but you did it again, man. You really did it again. It is unbelievable. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means everything.
It's unbelievable, man. And it's also emotional. It's a great movie. It's one of my favorite of the series.
Thank you. That's it, man. That's encouraging. That's encouraging, and you don't know how much I appreciate hearing feedback. You know, this movie was supposed to come out last year, and we had to pull back like the world did. So to hear that is just makes it all worth it.
This is a press conference. It's domestic and international. People are very excited all over the world.
That's awesome.
Huge excitement about this movie.
That's so awesome. Very excited. The anticipation of what happens next. I've never seen a franchise. It's a very special and unique thing to have an audience see your movie, and then as they're walking out of the theater, go to the ticket booth to try to get a ticket for the next movie that isn't even made yet. That's a testament to how in tuned the fans are to the film. And we don't shy away from it. So we evolve, our characters evolve. We're in the 9th chapter, 20 years, the anniversary of the first film, and Dom's a father and going through fatherhood. I think that's part of what makes it special. Of course, the number one reason is because Fast and Furious has always been that movie that you can watch from anywhere in the world and feel like you belong in Toretto's backyard at that barbecue table. I'll never forget being in an airport in Mexico. The movie hadn't come out yet. It was maybe April of 2001. And Paul and I were sitting on the floor with our bags to the side, about to board a commercial flight back home. We just flew down there for the MTV spring break thing. And I remember him leaning over to me and saying, "Take all this in." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Take in the fact that people are walking over our legs, almost kicking our bags, and not paying any attention to us." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because after this film comes out, there too will go our anonymity." And I think that is telling of this journey that we were about to go on. And so that is a memory. Ironically, for me, when people ask about the memories, my memories aren't just the ones that you see on film, because everything behind the scenes contributes to what you see on film. Obviously, the biggest setback is the loss of my brother in the middle of filming, the ripping. You know, I felt like my brother was ripped away from life and from the planet, and that. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to articulate it right. But it is clearly the thing that's been the biggest tragedy in my life and the most life-altering moment. Well, it depends. When I'm on set, everyone is very serious because I'm very serious. Meaning, when I'm on set, every second is, I believe, as a filmmaker, every second there's an opportunity to find a miracle. And so I'm thinking about it and searching for it and trying to be open enough to receive whatever the miracle could come from that day. I believe you go into filmmaking as prepared as possible, but also prepared to receive whatever kind of miracle that could factor into the magic that you're creating. But what we do is offset, we get together on the weekends and we do all of our bonding there. For example, in order for John Cena to play Jacob with that kind of anger, and for Dom to have that kind of, for us to feel that comfortable to go that heavy toe to toe, we had to counter that with weekends where we were with the family. He's playing football with my son or playing Mozart on the piano with my daughter. All of that helps to create the film because you're allowing people to feel comfortable enough to go to the places that they need to go to in order to realize their characters and their character relationships. I knew Justin Lin was directing Fast 9 before he knew he was directing Fast 9. In fact, he thought I was crazy when I said prior to 8, that prior to me filming 8, and I've loved the other directors that were a part of it. I think James Wan and I think Gary Gray all did fantastic jobs. But the finale, the task of creating the finale weighed on me 5, 6, 7 years ago. I started to kind of feel like I was getting closer and closer to Fast 10. And so what Justin brings is, for me personally, as an artist, a shorthand for the production as a whole, a commitment that's unparalleled. And in terms of the storytelling, a deep understanding of the mythology that you only get from being associated with the mythology for over 10 years. So all of those reasons were why it was so critical for him to direct the Fast 10 two-part series and finale. And of course, the prequel to that, this magical film, Fast 9. Aside from the fact that Fast has become tradition, aside from the fact that Fast is a film that by nature brings family together, aside from the fact that there's no movie ever that you want to see with your friends like Fast, aside from the fact that you as the fans and you as the audience have been on the journey for over 20 years, aside from the fact that at the 9th film, we're starting to touch on an origin story for Dom. It's taken us this long to get there. Aside from the fact that there's a scene in the first movie in a garage that's just Dom talking to Brian about why the car scares him so much. And we think it's only because of the loss of his father. And then we uncover in the 9th chapter that it also represents a broken brotherhood of blood in the past for the character that is synonymous with brotherhood. Aside from the fact that, of course, the spectacle and the action sequences deliver on such a high scale, they should see it because we make it for them. I would never want to change that optimistic outlook on life. And I would add to that, I've talked about this before, as an artist, it's imperative to maintain a childlike sense of wonder. So the older I get, the more I want to protect my childlike sense of wonder. It is, like life, part of our journey. He is very conflicted, and it's a part of our journey, and it's part of, dare I say, fatherhood. When we become parents in life, we naturally reflect on our own parents. And we do that in service of trying to be better parents ourselves. Aside from the fact that, again, this whole franchise has been, a statement on brotherhood. And the beautiful thing about this statement on brotherhood, blood is independent from it. It's a brotherhood of bond. So to have to go back into the past and reconcile with someone who you believe is the cause of your own father's death and happens to be your blood, that's a heavy thing to go through. I just think we got lucky. I think we got really lucky with John Cena. As the world knows, I'm a multicultural movie star, which means you could have cast anyone to be my brother. So the world was, the whole world was considered. And I remember the day that John Cena, one of the other producers said, John Cena's always wanted to be a part of this franchise. Would you like to meet him? And I said, yeah, have him come into the Dom Shrine, where I go into that Dom state of mind months before I go to film. I try to block out all of my life, and I try to meditate on who Dom is. And he comes into the shrine, and that day, if you go back to my Instagram and you read the caption, it reads, "Thank you, Pablo." And the reason why is because I had felt that Pablo had relieved my anxiety about the casting and casted John Cena as Jacob. More ways than I can imagine, more ways than I can describe, more ways than I'm even aware of. I started this franchise maybe with little confidence that I was ever going to have a family of my own. I was so dedicated to the arduous task of trying to make it in this industry that I felt like I might not be able to have a family of my own. Dom Toretto is not far from that. Dom Toretto, as when you meet him, has little faith in the future and little faith in society, and probably didn't feel like he believed in the world enough to have a kid of his own and might not have believed in himself enough. The irony is, if you go back to Fast Five and you go onto that porch and you hear Dom talking to Brian about he's going to be a great father, what you don't hear is that Dom might not have thought of himself as a great father. That's what's not said in the dialogue. That's what's implied. And now we come full circle and we see how deathly committed he is to being a father.